This topic is, it's called corresponding and alternate angles. Basically what it's doing is it's trying to teach you the ways to name pairs of angles. It's mostly just clarification so that later on when we do parallel lines and that sort of things, we can identify angles that have some sort of meaning to each other. So for corresponding and alternate angles, generally you have two lines and they're crossed by something called a transversal. This line here is called a transversal. It's just a fancy word that means it's something that crosses through a couple lines. Sometimes it can cross through 3 lines, or whoa, even 4 lines. But you'll see the word transversal a lot, so I would suggest as you write this stuff down in your notes, label that as a transversal. Nothing like taking like an SAT test or an MCAS test and all of a sudden they're throwing this language at you and you are terrified because you don't know what a transversal is, when really all it means is it's a line crossing. Alright, I'm going to number up each of these angles. We're just going to number them 1, 2, I'll make that a 4, it just should go in order, huh? 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright. So what we want to talk about is what kind of angles exist here. So we'll start with corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, they are, I think of it as kind of the angles that have the same perch as another angle. So if I look at angle 2 and then I look at another angle, it's going to be, they have to be on the same side. Same side. Actually, let me erase this here. Sorry about that. Same side of the transversal. Transversal. So back to angle number 2. If I look at angle 2 and I'm focusing on this side of the transversal, I'm going to focus on angle 3, 6, and 7. Which one has the same kind of perch? Well, angle 2 is sitting above another angle. So out of 3, 6, and 7, what other angle also sits on top? And that would be angle 6. So angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. They correspond, they're in the same general perch or orientation as each other. What if I had chosen angle 3? What is its corresponding angle? Again, we need to stay on the same side of the transversal. So does angle 2, angle 6, or angle 7 correspond to angle 3? Well, 3 is tucked down below another angle. So the only other angle on that side of the transversal that does the same thing is angle 7. Alright, let's pick one more, but this time let's go on to the opposite side of the transversal. Let's say that we chose angle 5. For angle 5, which would be the corresponding angle to it? Well, we have to look on this side of the transversal this time, and that's going to narrow it down to either angle 1, angle 4, or angle 8. Angle 5 is sitting on top of another angle, so the only other one to choose would be angle 1. So those are all pairs of corresponding angles, and you need to be able to name them. So if I gave you a picture and said name all of the corresponding angles, you would have to go through and name them. Obviously I didn't name all of them from this picture. I didn't talk about angle 4's corresponding angle, I didn't talk about angle 8's corresponding angle, but we did pick out a few of them. Alright, let's move on to alternate angles. Slide all this stuff up. Okay, I'm going to draw the same basic picture and label them all up. There's our amazing transversal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The word alternate, trying to think, like if you say I'm going to visit you on alternate days, usually it means like every other, or kind of opposites or something like that. So alternate angles sit on opposite sides of the transversal. So I guess you could think of the transversal as kind of splitting our area into 2 pieces. And let's see, for alternate, we have alternate, so let's pick angle 1. And since angle 1, alright, so I need to identify that this area here is what we would call exterior, as is this part here. Below this line is all exterior. It's in the outside of our diagram. Everything above this line is also on the outside of our diagram, whereas all this stuff in here is called interior. And what we're going to do is we're going to break down our alternates, and we're going to talk about alternate exteriors and alternate interiors, which makes it a little bit easier. So again, this guy here is all interior, and it just helps you focus on certain parts. So if I want to look at angle 1, and it is in the exterior, so angle 1 is going to be an alternate exterior angle to what other angle? Well, it has to be in the outside. Since angle 1 is in the outside, that narrows it down to either angle 2, 8, and 7. And the alternate angle has to be on the other side. So now we've labeled it, so now we've narrowed it down. From angle 1, our alternate exterior is going to be on the alternate side of the transversal, way out here, and it's still going to be on the exterior part of our picture. So angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exteriors. Why didn't I choose angle 2? Because angle 2 is next to, it's a linear pair with angle 1, and that can't be considered an alternate exterior. Alright, let's slide this up. Alright, so let's look at another alternate exterior. Let's say I'm looking at angle 8. So angle 8's here, and what it's going to do is we need to find an angle on the opposite side of the transversal that is also on the exterior. So that narrows it down to either angle 7 or angle 2, but angle 7 is next to it, so that can't be it. So it's angle 8 and angle 2 are alternate exteriors. And I'm abbreviating because I want to. Alright, let's try an interior one. What if I start with angle 6, which is here? Angle 6 is clearly on the inside. We need to find an angle also on the inside, but that is sitting on the other side of the transversal. So that means either angle 4 or angle 5. 5 is next to it, so that can't be an alternate interior. So that means that angle 6 and angle 4 are alternate interiors. Alright, let me scroll up and let's see if we can run through just a couple more examples. And less explanation maybe. Okay, so here we have this guy, that guy, here we go. I'm going to number them different this time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so for our alternate exteriors, if I start with angle 7, which is on the outside, what is its alternate exterior angle? So angle 7 is going to be an alternate exterior with 4. Angle 1 is going to be an alternate exterior with angle 3, because they're on opposite sides. How about for our alternate interiors? We have angle 6. And that can either be linked with angle 5 or angle 2, but 5 is next to it, and that's not allowed. So angle 6 and angle 2, and that leaves angle 8 and angle 5. Alright.